Hello and welcome to Husky Hoops. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. Uh, I would like to introduce the man himself, the best of the best, the icon, the voice of the Huskies, Joe D'Ambrosia. Joe, great to see you.
Good morning, Cully. Always good to spend time with you, my friend.
Yeah, it is. I know every morning. Um,
It is. It is.
It is. It is. It is. And we have a lot to talk about. We have our Yukon Huskies with our men picking up, I guess you would say, a quality big win, putting us to 9-1 against, Florida, who is 5-4, but it was a good win for us. And we needed it. And I thought we played more as a team. It was good to see Reed back. I just wanted to get your thoughts on the crew that played together, and coming through, getting this one done. Big victory. I thought it was a good victory, despite Florida's record.
Yeah, and look, Florida's record. They're going to be there when the season ends.
Correct.
They have a cast that to the Final Four. Their backcourt's not as good as it was last year, but still, that front court they can
Yeah.
play. They can play
Yes.
volleyball off the
Yes.
offensive glass. But I thought it was a great win for UConn. Started strong, had a little gap, and then
Yeah.
came out like gangbusters.
Yeah.
Um,
At the end.
it was great that Reed was back in the middle.
Yeah.
Uh, they went to him early. He was dominant, as is his want, as is many players on this team's want. He got in foul trouble. They brought Ryba in, and we saw
Yeah.
the the value of the two-headed
Huge.
monster at center, much like Sonogo and Klingon, much like Klingon and Johnson, much like Johnson and Reed. The staple of these Dan Hurley teams, one of them is the two-headed monster at center. And look, for Ryba to score 9 points in 15 minutes,
Yeah.
grab a couple of rebounds, terrific. We talked about this a lot last year, Stevie. If you get 21 points and 7 rebounds out of your center position, I don't care if it's one, two, or three people, that's a great night. And that's what they got against as big a front line as they will find this year. Ball helped carry him offensively. Caravan did the Caravan things. I mean, his he had a
Consistency.
block when it was 56-55. He blocked
Oh,
the shot,
yes. Yes.
came down and banged home with three,
It
fifty-nine,
was
55. And then
huge.
the other guy, and then Mullins was in foul trouble. He had 2 fouls in 7 seconds when he came in.
Yeah.
Then he came back in the second half and got a foul in the first second. He's going to learn.
Yeah.
But when they needed him to hit shots, he hit shots. And the other guy who had a terrific game, who I've been hard on, is
Yes.
Malachi Smith. I still
Exactly.
don't like his shot selection. Okay. I
No,
think he dribbles too much.
he's
I
all over
think
the
he
place.
puts them in late shot clock situations. Having said that, his floor game was flawless the other night. 9 assists
9 assists.
and one
Yeah.
turnover.
Yeah.
That's epic point guard numbers. So he had a terrific game. Um,
That's what they need.
and again, playing Florida at the Garden isn't like playing Florida at the O'Connell Center in Gainesville. Let's be honest about that.
Of course.
Um, but I thought it was a great win and a real, tomorrow night at the People's Bank Arena, they
Yeah.
finish this gauntlet against a really good Texas team. And if they beat Texas, which I think they will, and go 5-1 against the six top 15 teams, Texas not ranked now, but they're a good team. That says a lot about especially with all the injuries this team has had.
Yeah, with all that they've had to deal with early on, and especially like you said, Mullins coming in and getting in foul trouble immediately,
Seven
knocking down a few
seconds.
shots. Yeah,
You got 2 fouls in 7 seconds.
I mean, that's like when I played high school basketball, I get 2 points in 30 seconds. Like, geez, like, but I mean, Caravan, solo ball, 34 minutes, 39 minutes. I thought that was great. Caravan down the stretch, incredible. You know,
Yep.
5 for 8, 3 for 5 from 3-point range. But I agree with you. Malachi Smith taking control and with that point guard position, having 9 assists, being that facilitator. I do agree he dribbles around like the Energizer Bunny all over the place. If they can settle him down and get him into the offense a little bit faster, I think that they'll be more productive with him in the game. But he definitely did his job. They got 22 minutes out of him, the 9 assists, very happy. I still give Eric Ribey what he's been doing is outstanding. I mean, he was 4 for 5 from the field, and to give them 15 quality minutes like that,
Right.
and give Reed a break, I thought that was incredible. He is going to be something, and like you said, that 2-headed monster at center is not something that many teams have.
Right.
And that's something we really take advantage of.
Right. We perfected that under Danny.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just such a luxury to have 2 guys who can fill that position because of the way that UConn plays. They need the big guys to set slip screens up top. They need the big guys to be able to post up. They need the big guys to be able to rebound. Neither of them is a great defender.
Right.
I think Rival will become one, but right now they're not.
Yeah,
they're not. Neither of them are great defensively. They're okay. They're not bad, but they're not. But then again, and I haven't looked at the whole Big East yet. Now that Kalkbrenner's gone from Creighton, I don't know how many teams have a true 5 in the Big East. So
I don't think. Yeah,
I don't know. But it was a great win. It was nice that they could bring Coach Candle down there and he could see what this is all about.
Yes, he loved it.
I thought that was important. I understand he got a raucous ovation.
He
introduced. It was a great night. It was you know what it was? It was a typical UConn night at Madison Square Garden.
I had a chance to speak with Mike Burton, and he was the one who brought him down to the game. And he said Candle just had a smile on his face the entire time. He just loved the experience of, he hasn't seen a basketball program like this. So He loved being there. He loved watching the game.
I just want to say one thing, and I know this is Husky Hoops, and we'll probably do a show Monday to talk about the hiring and what's going on up there. But I'm not wowed by press conferences, by introductory press conferences, because everybody wins the press conference. Yes. What stood out to me Monday was he's a no-nonsense guy. And there was no snake oil in anything that he said. He didn't try to sell you the Red Sea or try to sell Ismo. And I think that I think that was important. So,
that's very important. Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was important. But back to hoops. Look, I mean, barring, and it's the same thing with the women, who I know we'll talk about in a minute, though their games are ridiculous. Barring a catastrophic injury, I think a ball injury, I think a Reed permanent injury, I think a Caravan injury would be devastating because he's the glue. But barring an injury like that, or Mullins, because Mullins is going to be huge when we get into the season. He's going to be Stephon Castle. He's going to be Liam McNeely.
He's a baby still, yeah.
Barring an injury to one of the catastrophic injury to one of those 4, there's no reason why this team can't go to the Final Four.
No, they look. I mean, they've gotten better. It seems every week, which is good to see. They're improving. The only guy I'll bring up is your man Stewart. I wish we got a little bit more out of him. He played 22 minutes, 7 points, but more production out of Ross, then that would have been fine. If we could have got 10 to 15 points between Stewart and Ross, that would have been fine. That was my only.
I think here's the thing, and this happened. This has happened a lot now with Stewart. Stewart's kind of the energizer at the beginning of the game. He hits a couple of hoops. He makes plays.
Yeah.
He's able to do things. He played most of his time in the first half. He played 17 minutes in the first half. He only played, what is it here? He only played 5 minutes in the second half.
Yeah.
So I don't, whatever the reason is for that, and certainly the coaches know far better than I do. They find him to be more effective in the first half. I think if you went back and did a search on his numbers, you'll find that most of his production, minutes played, points, rebounds, is done in the first half. Is Chris D sending you notes?
He, of course, he is. One of the questions that had come up: were you concerned about the deficiency in the rebounding between UConn and Florida? I mean, Florida had, I believe, 40 rebounds, and we had like 26,
28. Well, I think because of their size,
yeah,
it's not unexpected. The thing that sticks out though is they had 16 offensive rebounds, right? They had six second chance points.
Yes.
UConn had 7 offensive rebounds,
right,
and had 7 second chance points. So UConn actually did better on the offensive glass, production-wise, than Florida did. Getting out rebounded like that, just like getting outshot at the foul line, 27-16, isn't a formula for long-term success. At some point, that's going to bite you in the ass. Okay,
right.
But on the short-term game-by-game basis, they made the most of their opportunities. They converted 17 points off of 12 turnovers. That's a great percentage. Their bench, because of Mullins and Ryba and Malachi, outscored the Florida bench 20-6. I think I think at the end of the day, you got to look at all the numbers together. But I would guarantee you that when they get back to I don't know if they practiced Wednesday, probably not, because I'm sure they got back late Tuesday night and they're in exams. But I would guarantee you today they go after it in rebounding drills.
Yeah, and if Florida did not go very, very deep into their bench, I mean, they only played 3. They played 8 guys total. I mean,
right, one only played 10 minutes. So
we're able to go deeper and play 9 guys. I mean, we can play 10 guys.
Even Karoma, if both bigs are in foul trouble, can give you 3 or 4 high energy minutes.
Exactly.
So you can basically go 10 deep if you wanted to.
Exactly. And I also like the 3-point percent. I mean, we were 8 for 18 from 3-point land.
Great.
I thought was great. Yeah.
I think that's a good amount of threes to take. I don't like it when they jack up an incessant amount of threes. I just don't. I mean, that's not what I would recommend.
No. And 29 to 58 from the floor. That's
50%. You never argue with that.
That's beautiful. And 11 for 16 from the free throw line. I mean, that's what you need to get it done. I'd like to see it a little better, but you can't complain. I mean, this got close and they pulled away at the end. It was great to see 77-73 taking care of Florida, which I think sends a message. And I think you're right. This is a Final Four team. This could very well be one.
Yep.
And with the depth that they have and solo ball and with Rybe and Terrace Reed, they're going to roll through the Big East. They should roll through the Big East. And
St. John's will provide a bit of a problem.
they will.
Seton Hall is actually much better
They've gotten better. Yep.
than
They
they
spent
have
money.
been. But I would think, and you're always going to have a game where you step on your blank and have issues.
Absolutely.
But I would say for the most part, in a 20-game Big East schedule, I don't think 16-4 is is too much to ask.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then, Friday night is the game that is being advertised all over on Fox. UConn is playing Texas. And that is the big one. That is the big one. That is final.
That's the big one for this week.
Yeah, it's the final non-conference game early on in the season that everyone's looking forward to. What are your thoughts on how we match up against Texas?
Well, size-wise, their best scorer and rebounder is a 7-footer in the middle. They go 6'8", 6'7" up front. The 6'7" kid, the 6'8" kid is actually the two lead scorers are about 16 points per game. The kid Dalen Swain. The backcourt is 6'1", 6'5". They average combined about 22 points per game. Looks like they go maybe three deep on the bench with scoring and stuff. I think it'll be. I'm looking forward to going to my first game of the year and seeing this team in person. Texas will come in looking for revenge. UConn beat them last year down in Austin. Sean Miller is a familiar face from his days coaching at Xavier. People know him. I think it has the potential to be a real good game. I don't see it being a blowout, but either way, Texas has played a decent schedule. They lost to Duke.
Yes.
First game of the year by 15. They lost in Maui to Arizona State, but then they came back and beat Chaminade. And then they beat North Carolina State 102-97, so they can put points on the board.
Yeah, they're 7-3.
That's
and you're
pretty obvious. Most of their high scoring, they've got 5 games of 90 or more, or 6 games of 90 or more, but their schedule hasn't been anywhere near as good as UConn's schedule.
No.
Now, the games they played are the games that, they lost to Duke, they lost to Arizona State, they beat North Carolina State, and they lost to Virginia. So in quad 1 games or quad 1 and 2 games, they're 1-3. So that's not, I'm sure it'll be a good game. I'm sure they'll look to play up tempo. I don't think there's any question about that. So, they average, what is it here? 89 points a game.
89, yep.
They give up 73, but again, that's skewed because of who they've played and stuff. Look, I think it'll be a real good game. A Friday night, 8:00, people will have a chance to go out and get liquored up before they walk into the XL Center. I think, Coach Hurley talked after the game on Tuesday about, this team deserves a huge reception because of what they've done, the wins that they've gotten, the Kansas win, the Florida win.
He's done a great job.
2 big wins away from home. So, yeah, I think environment, how it goes, I would expect UConn to come out on top.
Yeah, I think it's a great matchup for us. I'm excited to see Reed and Rybe battle with their 7-footer. Is it Mathis? I can't.
I think it's Mattis.
It's Mattis.
I think it's
Yeah.
Mattis. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, because he's been a force in the middle, but like you said, it hasn't been against tremendous competition. But I saw some clips on him. He's a big dude, and I can't wait to see the two big guys go at it. And I want to see how Ryback does against him for sure.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
Mattis. It's Mattis Vocatitis.
Mattis. Okay,
Mattis
Mattis.
Vocatitis. So,
Vocatitis. That's how you
yeah.
pronounce it. Okay. Yeah. So I think that'll be a fun battle to watch. I love watching the big guys go at it. I think we have the advantage at the guard position. I think Solo Ball is tremendous.
Well, I'm a little concerned about Demery's foul-prone way.
Yeah,
I think
it's amazing. Yes, it's
I think
absolutely
that's
amazing.
I think that's a bit of an issue.
Yes, it's amazing how it continuously happens game in and game out. I'm shocked at it. But I totally
and to the people on X who constantly bitch about the officials, I would just say this: they get in foul trouble every game. It can't be the officials every game. Okay, just can't.
The Big East is an abomination this year. What happened to all these hacks who said we have an advantage with rev share because Big East schools don't have to spend on football? Chris D, I don't know what to say. I kind of agree with you, but they don't have money to begin with because we don't have the broadcast revenue. They don't have the attendance revenue. That is why. That is a big reason. Football rules the roost, unfortunately. And even though the rev share is different, they're not getting the same amount of money.
And I'd hold off on the gloom and doom for the Big East right now.
Yeah.
Let's wait a month and see how the conference season goes. I mean, Villanova's better with Kevin Willard in there as a head coach. I mean, DePaul always gets off to a good start because they play a crap non-conference schedule.
Yes.
I mean, the team, St. John's is only 5-3, and they were supposed to be this. They were supposed to be the second coming of the UCLA teams.
They're the darling. Yes.
70s. The two teams that have been part of the fabric of the league who have really come back to earth are Creighton and Marquette.
Yes, big time.
Creighton's 5-4, Marquette's 5-5.
Yeah,
I mean that is a bit of a
it's not traditional for them.
Well, and I think that's a bit of a red flag.
Yeah,
for the league if those teams can't compete outside the league. Now, Marquette's got Purdue Saturday night. Good luck, or Saturday afternoon. Good luck with that. So they could be 5-6 going into
Big
league
East
play. And Creighton, who's Creighton have left before they go into league play? Creighton's got Kansas State. I don't know anything about Kansas State, but that's at Creighton. And then next week it's conference play, which is kind of crazy. It's kind of come so quickly,
It really has. It seems like it's come much quicker than it did last year. I don't know. It has to do with the Maui quickly. That's quicklier is not a word.
Quicker.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know if it's because of not having the Maui Invitational or what, but it does seem like
they had Maui.
Well, I thought we didn't play in it.
We didn't, but Texas did.
Right.
Oh no, the Maui Invitational's still alive. The problem.
No, I know that, but we didn't play in it.
The problem for Maui is this dumb Players Edge tournament in Las Vegas offering NIL money that's going to expand to 24 teams next year.
I did not know that. So that's going to be
like all these teams opting out of bowl games, including the Crybabies from South Bend, could be the beginning of the end of the bowl system as we know it. This players tournament, whatever it's called, Players Edge, whatever.
They're going to 24 teams.
Yeah,
and it's going to be an in-season tournament.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that. That's
the plan. Crazy.
That is scary to think about. And then, looking at we had, I believe it was DePaul. That was I don't even know what you call that. But it was nice to see Sue get her flowers. Sue got her
Long
jersey
overdue.
retired. Long
Yep.
overdue. It was great to
But you
see.
can't go into you can't have your jersey retired at UConn unless you're in the Basketball Hall of Fame. And she just
I
got inducted
agree.
this year.
I
And
agree.
let,
I
and let
agree.
me say this, I applaud that. The
Yeah,
Baseball Hall of Fame has become a joke.
it has.
They're
It
letting in.
has. It
You know,
has. It has.
Jeff Kent and Harold Baines are in the Hall of Fame, and Don Mattingly and Dale Murphy aren't. What kind of world are we living in?
Oh, Dale Murphy had been so close. It drove me up a wall. Let
Right.
me ask you this, because I had this debate with Schumann off
Where is
topic.
Schumann, by the way?
He's got his other podcast he's finishing up. Do you believe Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens should be in the Hall of Fame? Would you
In
vote
a separate wing, yes. In a separate,
in
they
a
should.
separate
They
wing?
have to make. They have to make. Um.
That for that era?
Yes. I mean, and look. Um. I'm also of the belief now, because of the way the sport has poured itself out to gambling things, that Pete
It
Rose
is
should be.
ridiculous.
That Pete Rose should be in.
Oh, I know. That made me sick to just
Right.
to see him pass and not get in, and then all they're promoting is the gambling. Was a little ridiculous. I totally agree with you on that.
I mean, now that you can't watch a baseball game
Without
and not
seeing,
see FanDuel or DraftKings ad every 2 innings, with live thing. Well, how's that going to work out? How's that worked out in college basketball with the scandal at San Francisco? How'd it work out with Terry Rozier in the NBA?
yeah, and Chauncey Billups, yeah,
Well, but that was more poke. That's poker.
that was the
That's
poker. Right,
yeah.
right, right.
That's not. That's
That
a
wasn't
different.
basketball. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a different um, gambling issue. But yeah, I would like to see. I would like to see everybody who deserves to be in it um, get in. And,
Eh,
and
eh,
and the bottom line, Steve, at the end of the day, is it's just a museum.
yeah,
It's
it
just
is. It really is. It
it's
is.
just a museum.
You see old gloves, old jerseys, old balls. You're absolutely right. It
Right.
is 100%.
By the
And
way, I just looked it up. The Players Era Festival was 18 teams this year. It'll grow to 32 in 2026.
oh my God,
But like
that's
UConn, Duke, there are big name schools
that are
who
playing in
said
it
they won't go there.
that won't go. Okay.
They won't go.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't either. That's really unethical. I mean, I hate saying unethical for college basketball because it's the wild, wild west, but that really seems like an unethical tournament to have in the
Oh, I
season.
totally agree. Totally agree.
Just like I mean, I think it's crazy they allow college players to bet on professional sports. I think that's outrageous. But
No, yeah, we could do a whole
I
we could do
know,
a whole
I know.
show on that.
But the women were dominant as they were supposed to be against DePaul to 35. I mean, they're scoring single digits. I mean, it blows my mind, regardless of how good you are, if you're scoring 4 points in a quarter. That just to me is shocking. Like, wow.
Who
I
who
mean,
knew? Who
4 points.
Steve? Who knew when we escaped the American
Yeah.
and got back into the Big East, that women's basketball would be so bad? Remember how bad UConn never lost a game in the American, regular season or tournament. 7
No,
years they
no,
swept through. The
no.
only games they've lost in the Big East is when they had everybody hurt.
Yeah,
And those are few
when
and far
Paige was hurt, yep.
those are few and far between. So I mean, um who knew it would be worse for the women in the Big East? There's the man with the moss.
Keep going, baby. Keep going.
I mean, the women's games are laughable. Now, it should be a decent game. Southern Cal, even though they don't have Juju Watkins, is 7-2.
Yeah,
So that should be
that's going to
a
be.
bit of a challenge. And the Tennessee game will be a challenge because, as Maria says, the style they play is so different. But the Big East schedule, again, barring catastrophic injury to Sarah Strong or AZ Fudd, do the
Yeah,
women lose? Do the women win by less than 15 points in any Big East
no,
game this year?
I agree with you when you said this last year. Playing in the Big East, I mean, for the women, hurts them. I think it hurts them because they're playing against such poor and different competition. It hampers them. And USC and Iowa are the two good games coming up. You have Tennessee, Notre Dame, but in reality, you're 100% right. I don't think there's anyone in the Big East that's going to come close within 10 points.
I would agree. I would agree
of beating them. And they win the national championship. They come back. I think they're a better team this year. I really do. I think they're deeper.
I'd hold off on that.
I know.
I think until you get to the Final Four, you can't say that because you won it all last year.
You did.
And we still don't know if it, like Saturday night, if it's a tie game with 8.3 seconds to go and UConn has the ball, is it Fudd or is it Strong? Last year, you knew who was taking the shot.
You did, yes.
You knew who would have the ball in her hands in that final scenario. You don't know that yet. You don't know how this team is going to handle, because they'll get in one of these non-conference games, they'll get a situation like that. Or maybe they won't. Maybe they'll just beat the crap out of everybody and everybody will be pleased because, the UConn women's fans don't want to see close games.
No, they don't like close games.
I think Gino is in the what I call the golden twilight era, meaning college coaches like Gino and Nick Saban went through this too. They go through the stage where they're a young superstar like he was in the 90s, you know what I mean, in early 2000s, and he was like young super coach, fiery, all that kind of stuff. Then they go through they've been around a long time and people are bored with them, lull, meaning where he's still getting great players, he's still one of the best programs, but like he's not yet grandpa, but he's now an annoying old dad and not the grandpa yet. But when you transition to grandpa, which he is now, he gets old. That's my theory with respect to coaches. And then there becomes an era when they're too old, right, that it's time to retire. But there's a golden twilight era, and I think he's in it right now, which is when they're in the grandpa era that the kids like them even more than maybe they did when they were the young fiery, or I'd say at least equal when they were the young fiery whippersnapper that was doing all the great things because he was handsome and he was cool and he had great hair and all that kind of stuff. He did, by the way. You know this, Joe, right? Back in the 90s, dude, that man, he got a long way with his great hair. So, great hairdo, man, great hair. So it was, but now he's older and he has that whole, like, he's got wisdom. Players want to learn from him. He's probably as patient as Gino can be, because he's not patient, but as patient as Gino could be, he is significantly more patient than he was when what basically his philosophy was, if you don't do the job, you can't cut it on this pro team and you're going to have to find a different place to go play, which is what it was in the 90s and early 2000s. Like, there was all Americans that went to other teams that the women played against that were phenomenal. Sometimes beat us. You know what I mean? Because they just for whatever reason didn't work out with what he did. But now he's in that golden twilight era, and I agree that I don't think there's any team in the Big East that is remotely close. I don't know if it works against them or for them, because I guess that remains to be seen. Like the against them is they don't play against great competition. When they go against some of these better schools, are they good enough? I don't even know if they have enough talent to be good enough, but if they are good enough, are they not hardened enough? The other side of it is because they play weaker competition, do they stay healthy all the way through because of it? Because you can rotate more players. And by rotating more players,
they get more experience.
Your lower level players get to a level that make them really good off the bench. I think that's like, you can argue both sides of it. I don't know if there's a right answer or a wrong answer, but I
agree with the experience thing, Shu, but I think when you get to the tournament, you knock your rotation down
right
to 8, maybe 9. Now if you get in foul trouble and you've got people who have experience, you can stick off the bench. That's one thing. But for a regular rotation, you get to the NCAAs, especially when you get to the second weekend, not so much the first weekend, because that 116 game at Gamble ain't going to be pretty. But yeah, it's just, there's and some of the younger players are getting great experience now.
They are.
I mean, the Zybel kid can play. Heckel had a great game. She'll be all geeked up to go back to.
I was so happy to see Heckel play
USC this weekend. You know what you get from everybody else. The Williams kid is starting to find her sea legs, but she doesn't have to be what she was at Wisconsin. They don't need her to be double doubles. If she's 8-6, 8-7, 9-5, that's going to be more than good enough. And Shade can light it up, but you don't need her to light it up that much because
she's not going to get as many shots.
Well, yeah, exactly. If she got as many shots as AZ and Sarah, she'd probably put up those kind of numbers.
Exactly.
So,
and I was happy with KK. I mean, she I know it was DePaul, but she had 7 assists, which was good for her.
She's fine. She'll be fine. She's not. I think she's going to be fine. I don't worry about. Frankly, I don't worry about anybody on that team. So
no. I mean, the only person my new favorite is Kayla Heichel. She's the Chen.
Pick somebody. You get somebody every year.
Yeah, she's the Chen from last year.
Yeah, you loved Chen last year. Yeah,
she's
in the pros, right? She made it.
She played in the WNBA. Yeah,
she played with the Valkyries.
State. Yeah,
in Golden State. So,
and Blanca, the other freshman, she's done well, and I think she'll come.
I totally forgot about. I drew a Blanca on her. So
yeah, But yeah, I mean, other than USC, Maria did say Iowa could be challenging because it's a different, like you said, a different style of play. I don't know much about Iowa and their record, but again, I don't think it matters. I think you could put this team against some of the WNBA teams, and they.
Hold, no.
I do. I really do.
No.
No.
Physically, no. No
Sun,
effing way. No, okay. Steve, that's like the people who say the great men's college teams could beat G League teams. No, it's not. It's apples and oranges.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, Iowa is 9-1, so they're. I mean, they haven't played anyone. I mean, they beat Baylor, who was 7th in the country. They beat Miami, and they lost to Iowa State.
Your boy Christy came up with a great comment.
Is Heckel and Chen loved more by Cully than Victor Rosa?
You know what, Christy? I don't love Victor Rosa. I don't
Not
love
anymore. Not anymore.
Doesn't matter. He's gone.
He practiced yesterday. I give him credit for practice. I'm a Victor Rosa fan. Okay, he ran the ball well a few times. I thought they should have gotten him in the rotation. I didn't think Cam could carry the load all year. That's on me. I just thought Cam needed to split reps with someone, and Victor could do it. He had that one fumble, and that was it. He came in.
Did Mel
He was
Brown
a third down guy.
yesterday?
Yes, Skylar Bell did practice yesterday.
No, not him. The running back who's leaving.
No, Mel did not.
Okay.
No.
What
Mel
about
didn't.
the
linebacker? Parham did not practice yesterday.
So he might opt too, huh?
Diamondi's already out.
Oh, is
Diamande, I didn't ask about the Diamande.
He was out already, right?
Practice. Well, they're in the portal. Rose is in the portal too, but he practiced. There's plenty of guys that are in the portal that still practice.
Got it.
But like Parham opted out, I believe, because he believes he's going to be drafted. And I talked to people, and I just off topic.
Is Joe playing?
Probably.
He is?
That I don't.
I
my
think that's
gut
an off
feeling
the
tells
stream
me-
conversation.
My gut is it's I won't say it's tough.
I have information on where he's going for training too, so I already know that. I already know what agent he went to too.
I know he's going with Joe Linta. I know. I talked to him.
Who called that one?
I talked to his father for 2.5 hours.
Who told you that? Who told you that?
You did. So it's
why did I tell you that? Why did I tell you that though?
You want a medal? You want a medal?
I would like, but why did I tell you that? What's the reasoning?
I don't know what the reasoning.
The reasoning is that Joe Linta's put a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL. That's the reasoning.
Yeah, I know that. That
is kind of his forte is quarterbacks.
I agree.
Joe Flacco was his first. But anyway,
they think that by going with Joe Linta, he's going to be a second round draft pick.
No, that's not.
No.
That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, you got to be realistic about it. That's all. That was my only concern.
Great point.
How about you, Stevie?
Did you guys talk? You talked to men's basketball already? I'm assuming, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we were just a great win against Florida.
I just curious what Joe's thoughts were of the Florida game.
Yeah.
It was a great win, Shu. I thought getting Reed back was great. We saw the Reed-Ryba duo combine for 21 points and 7 rebounds. You would take from any center any day of the week. Ball was terrific. Caravan did what Caravan does. I think we've entered into a phase with Alex where if he scores 20 points, that's great. If he gets 14 and 6 rebounds and has sequences like he did at 56-55 where he blocks a shot and comes back and bangs down a 3, then we're not surprised. I thought for not being able to stay on the court in the first half, Mullins played through his foul trouble in the second half. And in love with Malachi Smith had a great game. He still dribbles too much to me. I'm going to get some answers on that tomorrow night when I'm there. His shot selection, much like Demery's, is not good. But he had 9 assists. He controlled the tempo. And he kind of, I don't know if you noticed this at the end of the game, but he walked off the court. Which I loved. So
they're explosive guys. They're explosive guys. Those two guys, very explosive. They do. They with that comes maybe you're right. Sometimes like bad shot selection, but they are explosive. I mean, they're
very much so.
I think Hurley is one of the best. Obviously, he was a guard himself, and that's one of the strength for him as a coach. But what I think he gets not enough credit for, or maybe he does, and I just don't know, don't read enough on it, is how he utilizes the 2 big man system over and over again, and really maximize it. Tries to maximize what they can do. Like he did it last year, and I didn't think, like he figured out, which they weren't as good last year, and that's probably why Sampson is gone. But even there, like he figured it out. Obviously, the 2 years before that, he did a great job with the two guys each time, and then now he's doing a great job with those. He really has like I don't know if it's a system or a way he evaluates it or how he plays them and what their strength. But he really has a great 2-center system where he like utilizes them in a capacity that gets the most out of what they can do, but doesn't leave them on the floor too long. Some people might argue that sometimes he pulls a guy when he's hot, you know what I mean, before he should. But that ability to do that, I think, really is important in the college game because the big men make such a huge impact in the college game. You know what I mean? Because not everybody has them.
You can win without a big man in college basketball these days. But if you have a good big man or a big center combination like UConn does, like Florida does, you can go a long, long way.
Yeah.
It gives you an advantage.
It sets you apart from everyone because teams don't have big men like that.
Because if a school doesn't have a good, let's say we get in a Big East play and both big men pick up a couple of fouls. Well, the odds are you can play Caravan at the 5 for a couple of minutes, and it's not going to hurt you.
And survive.
You don't have to bring in Karoma. You can for a couple of minutes, but he's a little foul prone too. But when you have, like you said, Shu, when you have two big men, like Sanogo and Klingon and Johnson, even last year Johnson and Reed was better than most, but not as good as what we've seen at UConn. But now Reed and Reed and Ribal, they're terrific.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. And they're getting better every week. Well,
the only thing you worry about with Reed now, boys, is can he stay healthy?
So, Joe, prediction, Texas, what do you see?
I think good game. I think UConn will pull away at the end. Let me see what the Magic odds say as far as the prognosticators have.
I would love to see.
Night.
I was surprised. I was surprised Iowa was 7-1. That impressed me. I know they haven't played.
Okay, there's no odds because it's in state, so that's why there's no odds.
Really?
Yeah. I would think UConn by 8. I'll give you an 8-point win tomorrow night.
Yeah, I would agree. With
and then before we meet again, they start Big East play.
Yes.
They play Butler at the People's Bank at the PB&J on Tuesday night. Which will be another game that I will be in attendance at. So I'll be able to give you firsthand knowledge, much like I went to the Candle in the Wind press conference on Monday.
By the way, how was it?
You know what? I said this earlier.
Gave us a good report. Yes.
I said this earlier, Shu. He's no nonsense. You can tell. And there wasn't a hint of snake oil in anything that he said. I was impressed. I asked him one question afterwards, which was only because he was from Toledo. Do both you guys watch MASH? Have you seen MASH?
Yes, I have.
Of course.
So Klinger always talks about Paco's hot dogs, right? So I said at the end of the press conference, after all the legitimate media had asked their questions, I said, let me ask you, have you ever been to Tony Paco's? And he went on for like a minute and a half explaining what the place was like. So I like him. Well, the results will be on the field and who he can bring in, but his retention rate at Toledo was outstanding. And he also talks, which the other guy, Colorado State, Charlie, didn't want to do, was develop players.
No, he didn't.
And I think that's important. We've seen that. We've seen Connecticut high school coaches who sometimes have a little high opinion of themselves. Let me be honest.
They do.
Let me be honest with you.
But
we've seen them be a little bit miffed because the coach at State U doesn't involve them.
They don't even get
and look,
up
you can't just recruit Connecticut. Now I didn't realize this, but Coach Candle has a pretty good reputation in Florida, which, as you remember, Steve and Shu, Randy did too. We got a lot of players.
We did,
because there's a lot of players to have.
Well, I brought that up last time. I don't know if he's bringing them with him, but Coach Weiner from was the Plant High School coach for like 15 years. He's a legend. So everybody knows him. So he's going to do really well in Florida.
And I would think, and I know, Steve, this disappoints you a little bit. I think you're going to get a lot of the Toledo staff here.
It's not going to disappoint me. It's not going to
because that's what and Coach Candle mentioned this. That's who he's familiar with. So he's
you got to bring
people in. I mean, Brock's already gone. He's gone back to Mississippi State. I know Steve held the door for him to get out the front door.
I know Brock's coaching the bowl game, which I appreciate.
Oh, he is. Oh, good.
Yeah. Good. I mean, not so good, but okay. He gave up 700. He gave up 700 yards to FAU. Come on.
Oh, I thought he was going to Colorado State.
He is. He's
going Brock is going to Mississippi
State.
Oh.
He's going back to Mississippi State.
Co-defensive coordinator. Yes.
Right.
Got it.
And Gordon is looking for an NFL O-line job.
So, he'd be great there. Maybe the new Giants coach. Maybe the new Giants coach could hire him.
I think he'd be fine.
When Marcus, Mr. Notre Dame, gets the Giants job, maybe he can hire him.
You do believe that Marcus Freeman? He could be
no,
out?
Because I think Notre Dame will make it awful for him to leave.
Yeah,
I think I think the buyout will be
is tremendous.
The Giants are going to say, "Nah, we can get somebody else."
What do you think about the whole Michigan thing?
I don't know enough about it
poor Ward
to speak intelligently.
I mean,
I can speak intelligently of it. He got a woman pregnant that was part of the staff.
Okay,
and he already had kids, and he obviously is married with kids, so that's probably why they gave him the door.
Married with 3 kids.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes.
And then yesterday he got arrested for assault.
I know he got arrested.
Oh yeah, he's in jail. He's in jail.
I thought that's what
happened.
Overnight.
I thought that's what you were talking about. Yeah,
overnight.
He got arrested.
No, he was already. So he got let go yesterday.
He got arrested. Yeah, 4:00. I thought that's
inappropriate relationship.
Yes,
okay,
yes,
that was. Well, it must have been the night before, but it came out yesterday, right? So for an inappropriate relationship, which I think is something like that. I think it's something like.
Yeah, there's zero tolerance for it. Yes,
well,
I know that.
There's a lot of guys that probably have an inappropriate relationship, but if you do that, I shouldn't say that. Not a lot of guys have it, but if you do that and something actually there's a result from that, then people's hands are forced. You're not going to just go to HR and have a conversation to stop doing it. Now it's out in the press, everyone's going to find out about it. So that's why it became an issue.
Bobby
he got arrested. So what happened? He got arrested for what?
Here's from CBS. I'm quoting the CBS Sports story. According to a statement from the Pittsfield Police Department, this is Pittsfield,
but
Michigan,
he wasn't
not
charged.
Pittsfield, Massachusetts. It says the Pittsfield officers responded to a location at 4:10 p.m. Wednesday, quote, for the purposes of investigating an alleged assault, end quote. A suspect in the case was taken into custody, and this incident does not appear to be random in nature. Now, more wasn't named in the statement, but they've confirmed. So, I mean, look, to the naked eye, looks like he got fired and he lost his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was his address.
That's probably about right.
But he was technically not charged with a crime yet.
Yes, correct. Not yet.
Probably lost his mind.
They're still investigating.
Everything he had hoped and dreamed for, and it probably did accomplish, obviously, as far as being a head coach, and all that went up in smoke, and then he probably lost. You're right. I guess he lost his mind.
Do you think the Colorado State coach really regrets now taking that job as soon as he did?
He does. Yes, he does. They have said that. Yes.
So what job did the Colorado State coach take?
No, Mora.
No.
Oh, Mora.
Mora, and there was another coach that they mentioned, Matt Rule, I think, or Iowa State coach.
Went to Penn State.
Yeah,
right.
He would have taken the Michigan job.
Why? Because he could have had an opportunity to get the Michigan job. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, I think. Well. Now they said Jed Fish, maybe. for Michigan.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. I
Yeah.
mean, there's not a ton of candidates. They're going to have to pay a big buyout to get someone.
Well,
The
but
highest rated tennis coach,
what?
tennis player of all time in football.
What about Chip Kelly?
He was a tennis player, Jet Fish. Not a footballer.
I don't think Chip Kelly will get another chance.
Chip Kelly is. I think he's a candidate. I heard.
I hope he is. I hope he is.
Ward's wallet's a lot deeper than it was at UConn.
Ward,
What about Brian Kelly?
How about Emmett Kelly, the comedian?
Brian
How about
Kelly
Kelly,
not,
the wrestler?
If Brian Kelly's not likable, I'm sorry. I don't think anyone's going to hire Brian Kelly.
How about Chip Kelly, the quarterback?
Brian Kelly
Olynyk,
to sit home. He's going to get $56 million to sit home. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he'll take his time. But yeah, so great episode of Husky Huddle. Thanks.
We missed
Coach
Maria today. She had
I will tell Maria. I will tell
Why was Maria there? What happened?
She had a family thing. I'll tell you after.
She had a rough weekend on the court.
I will tell you guys.
But that's not why she's not here.
Right.
So for Coach Schumann, thank you for taking a moment to come on. We appreciate you. Joe D, the icon, legendary voice of the Huskies, the best of the best. I'm Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe. Remember, life gives you lemons. Don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them right back at life.